Welcome back to Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai. This is day number 3 in the round of 8, and we are about to get into match number 2. And it is a crazy one. The IEM legend in Roots herO going up against INnoVation, possibly the greatest player of all time.
The machine, the guy who just keeps on giving. Since 2013, this guy has been winning championships. He has been so consistent. He's the benchmark. Every time we say someone's really good, we say he might be able to take a couple maps off INnoVation. He's just that damn good. herO, of course, though, a player who has so many good performances throughout the years, a bit up and down, but recently taking out a super tournament, doing a lot of good things, and he always does well at IEM.
Yeah, Mr. Consistency himself is INnoVation, but I really can't say that herO's been Mr. Consistency lately, specifically in PvT as well. We saw how incredible his PvT was around the time of the GSL Super Tournament when he beat Alive. It was the peak of the Adept Phoenix meta, which, to be fair, herO hasn't really transitioned out of either. He's still I no doubt will be seeing that in the series. But INnoVation's always been that high-level player. He's always been Mr. Consistency, and I actually don't know, even with this history in IEM, I can't actually see herO beating INnoVation this time. Just looking at his PvTs lately, they haven't been as crisp. They've been great online, but on LANs, on stages, he hasn't won a map against a Korean Terran since June. Like, it's been a long time.
That is a little bit of a long time. You definitely do your homework in that regard. But I feel like herO has been extremely good lately. He has been looking strong. I mean, he's been getting that damage done early a lot of times. And yeah, I mean, it was online, but for instance, he 3-0'd Gumiho in a Limo League, and those games looked so good.
Yeah, I remember. I got those replay packs because I do subscribe. So,
yes, you and I, $15 subscribers right there.
That's exactly right. It's a replay worth paying for, to say the least. But you know, that is true, and I can't take that away from him. I just feel like stage here, there's, you know, herO is the emotional player. He does get nervous. He does get, you know, his emotions spike, they lower. But INnoVation, he's a robot. He's not human.
He's a beast, you know. I mean, I definitely expect INnoVation to go in this the way he always does and just play very straightforward. He's like, hey, I'm going to macro up. But I think at this point, really the pressure is on herO. Can he break INnoVation? I think that's the big question. I think he's fighting not just for himself, but for the Protoss race in general.
Yeah.
He's the last Protoss in this tournament. And I think you're up against the machine. You're the last Protoss. What are you going to do? Go full Protoss or go home? I think the secret to herO's success here is getting a lot of one-base damage done.
Okay.
I wanted to see one-base, like Robo, Warp Prism 4 gates, one-base DTs, one-base pylon rushes.
One-base DTs?
I want to see some one-base
Pig,
DTs.
you're making things up now. What are you even talking about, one-base DTs?
I've seen that build order on spawningtool.com. It does exist.
It does
horrifying.
exist.
Yeah, it's horrifying. You don't see it a lot, but...
I mean, you could go one-base carrier even, I guess, but one-base DT, we're getting a little bit out there right now.
Against INnoVation, I don't know, Kev. It's gonna be a rough one. I mean, I agree with Big. I think herO's chances here, his key to success is against INnoVation, who is such a solid standard player, is going to be going for proxy stargates, going for timing attacks, hiding your gateways, going for a big all-in. I think that's going to be the way that he wins here, if he does win it all.
Okay, well, I mean, herO definitely, if he does mix it up early on, this guy, he has the best micro of the Protoss race, I would say. Do you guys have an argument with that?
No, I don't think
You want to fight about it?
Huh?
I don't want to fight about it.
You don't want to fight about it anymore?
I agree with you.
You're like, oh, I think it's Zest. I'm like, no, it's herO. He's so good with these crazy little amounts of units. Yeah. Hey, I do want to see some very aggressive play out of him, no doubt. I think that if you go into a macro game against INnoVation, who better you be?
Yeah.
I don't know who you better be.
I guess maybe stats. Like,
yeah, I don't even know.
in this tournament anymore. So.
Yeah.
Well, you know, yeah, if you think back to Gyeonggi, I don't think you want to be stats against INnoVation in a high-stakes match. It can be a little bit tough.
God.
Of course, it is going to be one where, you know, he's going to have to bring something out. He's going to have to play clean. And herO, he promised me the other day, he said he was going to play a bit more macro this tournament. He said, you know, lately...
He lied to your face.
He said it in some words I can't repeat on camera, but he basically said, I haven't been very good lately. I've been just going all in, hasn't been working. I'm going to play a little bit later into the game. Honestly, I think he's still going to be very aggressive, but we did see in his PvZs against Solar, we saw he was kind of like a little bit more balanced, taking a step back, still thriving in the chaos, but I'd like to see, if he goes for a macro game, much better play than we were seeing a few weeks ago, because there were a few matches against INnoVation, like in the last 2 weeks even, where it was a little bit one-sided. Like, he's playing a straightforward macro Oracle opening. INnoVation was just doing basic drop pressure, catching him out, just overwhelming him with 2 base follow-ups. So herO, if he is not going to 1-base all-in, he definitely needs to have stepped his game up a little bit.
Well, going back to what Maynard said, if that's the way that INnoVation is going to be playing, I would love to see herO go for Phoenix Adept. You're going to be able to shut down that drop play and punish 2-base pushes. So maybe that's the way that he'll fall back on. And in my opinion, there is not a greater Phoenix Adept player on Earth than herO.
There really isn't, but Terrans, just your generic Korean Terrans, or even your top 15 Korean Terrans on the ladder, are just so good against Phoenix Adept these days. They've seen it time and time again. They faced it every day on ladder. And INnoVation, Mr. Consistency, he's been so solid. I think he wants Adept Phoenix. I think he wants herO to do that against him.
Well, he's the only Terran that wants such a thing, I think, there, Maynard.
This tournament is so important for herO. He's 8th at the standings currently. Like, he needs to have a good showing here at Shanghai to secure a spot in BlizzCon and have hopes.
What? Real quick before we get going, predictions, Maynard.
I mean, you can probably tell by the way I've been dressing up this series, I think that INnoVation's going to win this one. I think maybe 3-1.
3-1. Wiggly, what do you think?
I think INnoVation's a big favorite, but, you know, herO, he just got a pep talk from Mal, so he's going to take 2 maps, 3-2.
3-2 for INnoVation.
For INnoVation, yeah.
herO 3-2. All right, guys, it is time. herO against INnoVation right now.
herO was awesome today. I think his group was very tough. He has 2 of the best Zergs in the world. And it was typical herO style. Like, herO is great, but he doesn't look very clean. He makes a lot of mistakes, but he thrives in chaos, literally. Like, that's just where he excels. So he makes the games go down and dirty, and then he wins with a little bit of Protoss magic. But I'm very happy about it, because he's the only Protoss in the top 8, and we really needed at least one.
INnoVation he's one of my favorite Terrans in the whole world. He's one of the best Terrans in the whole world. I'm not surprised to see him go through either. He had a group of death, so there was a big chance that he couldn't go through. But him coming through in the end in such dominating fashion against some of the best players in the whole planet, I really hope he, as well as Sue, goes through into the grand final. I really, really hope that's the case, because that's going to be incredible.
herO came out, he showed what herO does best. He attacks a lot, he's super aggressive. He's fantastic at finding those openings, plays very well, very clean play in the messy situations. So well played to herO.
INnoVation's known as the machine for a reason, because he just doesn't stop destroying everyone, and it looks as though that's what he's going to be doing at this tournament as well. After his insane performance in the groups, I wouldn't be surprised if INnoVation really could go all the way.
Time for the second quarterfinals of the Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai 2017. It's the only Protoss left in the tournament against the machine. Lovely video there, Todd. I looked incredibly well rested. That's probably, that was some fine art right there.
You look like you're in your natural habitat backstage, just chilling and doing ruddy things.
I look like I haven't slept since 2013, which is the last time I saw Protoss win anything. All right, here we go. This is going to be an awesome quarterfinals. Loading into Defender's Landing, an interesting map, obviously, to kick off this best of 5. On the right top side, we're looking at the main base of the man, the myth, the machine, INnoVation.
Maynard with some fantastic bias, by the way, wanting to have INnoVation against Sue in the finals, which would mean that INnoVation would win, right? Because Sue doesn't take first place. Why would the second place for him? His opponent in the blue, it is Root Gaming's herO.
That would be a rematch of the Intel Extreme Masters Gamescom 2015 finals if that would happen. I personally don't think that's going to happen. I think it's really hard to predict. I have no idea who's going to win the next quarterfinals. And it doesn't happen incredibly often, Todd. And I'm like, man, this ZVZ is going to be great. Even though lately we had a couple of really good ZVZs. But, I mean, Rogue versus Dark. It's going to be so awesome. I love watching Dark. I really think he's my favorite Zerg in Korea and has been for quite some time.
ZVZ is always great when Pig's casting, and you can bet Pig's going to be casting the upcoming ZVZ that we have later.
I mean, I'm excited for Roaches, but even more for some... Oh, yeah.
Anyways,
I feel like he will never say that ever again now that we've called him on it.
No, sometimes he can't help. If he gets really excited, he gets really into it, and he sees a couple of roaches dying, and he's like, oh no!
If he says oh no, he'd have a real oh no right after, because you realize he just said it.
All right, so taking a look at the opening start. Now, Defender's Landing is obviously a very unique map. It is the smallest map in this map pool. I'm expecting a Stargate here because I think a lot of other pushes are incredibly hard to stop. If you go for, let's say, a robotics facility, or God forbid you open Twilight on this map, I think the only way you ever open Twilight, if you say like, all right, 7-gate Blink Stalker all in, and that's all I will do, and I will get 0 detection, but there's no way that herO is going to do that here, I think, in the first game of this series. Reaper should not get any kills. I like the SimCity, that's excellent.
Yeah, it helps a lot here for herO. That one probe going to get targeted down. And with the Adept,
He's going to get one. I feel INno is going to get one. He's not going to give up until he gets one. No!
he knocked himself back.
Yeah? He's still going to get one. No!
No, he's not.
Damn. I mean, that's a lot of lost mining time.
Yeah.
Or is he, Todd? Maybe the one in the natural?
A bit of a late scout here by herO, but he does see everything in the main base of INno.
Wow, this Reaper, though, that's ridiculous, Todd. It actually caused an insane amount of lost mining time. And now it gets 2 probes as well. And the scouting probe that you just mentioned got picked off. So that is 3 workers and a lot of lost mining time.
Oh, the Adept did get the Reaper in the middle of the map, though. So that's going to be scouting denied, and that Stargate will go undetected here for the longest time.
I thought 27 probes against 25 SCVs. That's not where you want to be. There is a Widow Mine forward as well. herO, you got to pay attention here with your Adept. It's kind of hard to spot, I think, Widow Mines on a map like Defender's Landing. Maybe herO has some different graphics than we have. He's going to send his Adept in, does get, well, I want to say the confirmation there is a factory, but he already knew that.
Yeah, he gets the timing right on the starboard, so he was about to finish, so he can kind of time any kind of Widow Mine drop, which I guess by now he knows he's going to be coming. And herO, he actually skipped
The Oracle.
because of that. Goes straight into Phoenixes, and then he's going to rush detection on the back of this with a Robo, and then straight into Observers.
But aren't you worried that there's only a single Phoenix out? I feel like he's supposed to have 2 Phoenixes by now already, and if not, the 3rd Phoenix on the way.
Second one's about to come out. It's more about like the position needs to be right. Overcharge, I guess, can buy time.
All right, we're gonna see first-person view from herO, one of the best protesters in the world. How is he gonna deal with this drop? He's gonna see these Marines show up. Overcharge immediately. Is he gonna lift the mine? Yes, he will for a split second. The probe wants to do some friendly fire. That's actually pretty well defended so far. Doesn't lose much yet.
Yeah, and he definitely has different graphics than us, by the way. This is herO screen we're seeing right now. Everything is on low. He's gonna see these units chase down the medivac here. There's no more overcharge here to help on the high grounds, but the Adepts will get back in position on time to fight against these Marines. And the defense,
well done,
I guess, was there for the most part. He did lose some more probes, though.
Yeah, he lost a few probes, and he's going to end up losing one more. And he lost a Phoenix, which is, I think, the biggest deal here. Yeah. Did he take care of the mine? Apparently he did not. That mine is going to shoot in the natural. So 2 probes went down. Work account. Wow.
Yeah, this is bad.
What? What INnoVation? You're looking at first-person view of herO. I mean, 11 probes. I guess it's like 3, 4, and then like 2 more, and before you know it, I mean, 2 more somewhere else go down, and suddenly you lost 11 workers in the game, and you're down 4 workers.
Looking at herO's point of view, it didn't look so bad. You know, you look at the defense, and remember, he cannot see those numbers, but then as soon as we go back here to observer mode, and we look at the supply and the numbers, all of a sudden, it doesn't look so great for herO, you know, being on 2 bases only, and with less walkers than a Terran on double orbital, it's a bit of a disaster.
Yep, and don't forget, he skipped the Oracle, and I feel that if you skip the Oracle, I think your defense is supposed to be a tiny bit easier, because if the Phoenix count goes up, you lift the mine, you get your Adepts in a good position. I think it's also the Reaper that really messed him up early game, man. He lost a lot of mining time, he lost a couple of probes, then he also pulled a probe to trigger the mine. Obviously, INnoVation wasn't born last night, he didn't fall for it. And this is bad. herO needs to catch a break. Maybe getting a medevac here full of units, but obviously INnoVation will always unload before that happens.
Yeah, being able to spot this coming is very important there. He can, herO in this case, can make sure he has enough defensively and in the right position as well. Actually, observer-wise, he's only staying on 1. That's a little bit low, especially since that one is across the map right now.
I mean, maybe you can pull these 2 medevacs back. Gotta be careful with the Prism. And
especially with what happened previously in some of his series here from herO. Using a bunch of War Prisms against Zerg earlier in the tournament. More gateways and glaives here. Does he want to stay on 2 bases and kind of warp in mass Adepts across the map to try and kill INnoVation?
I think that you make a pretty valid point there, because I don't know what else he would do. This doesn't seem like the type of game. Oh my god, double mine here. But
that was so close.
If he would have put it a little bit further north, I think it would have probably shot. But I mean, the medevacs are going to chase it down. Marines are like, I wish I would have picked up a sniper rifle this morning.
They're not gonna get it. But it looks so rough for herO. Oh my God, he
Yeah.
doesn't have 3 bases. 30C's on the way. He's down in upgrades. He's down 21 supply with a couple of Phoenixes and mostly adepts. Like, Todd, this is looking incredibly bad. There's no other way to spin it.
I think herO at this point is basically hoping that INnoVation will move out, maybe overextend, like bring his entire army, in which case a counter Warp Prism drop with Adepts and a big Warp in might really kill like a lot of SCVs pretty much instantly from herO, and then all he has to do from there would be defend on his side of the map. But INnoVation, I think he's fully aware of that. Like INnoVation, like I said before, when you're playing the game, you can see the opponent's numbers, you can see the walker count and all that, but he did see how much he killed, and he should know that he's quite a bit ahead. Look at him rocking that ESL cap.
Yeah.
Wow, what a man.
Looks cool. Yesterday he was actually watching the TvT.
He didn't take the sticker off under it,
No, well,
with a barcode on it.
a lot of people do that though. They keep the stickers on.
Yeah, but like usually it's like a cool sticker on the top. That's like a proper, like, you know, barcode sticker that you're definitely supposed to take off.
He's just letting us know that he's still in touch with his barcode leather account. You know what's interesting, Todd? While this game is paused, both players so far in this game lost 700 minerals, and herO lost 100 gas, INnoVation lost 200 gas. But then if you look at the numbers overall of this game, INnoVation is just incredibly far ahead, which just means that he obviously did a better job in building workers. And I think it's safe to say as well that herO pulling workers over and over and over again, that really snowballs, right? That's a lot of indirect damage that we don't see directly in these numbers of casualties whatsoever. But Protoss being down, 26 supply, 7 minutes into the game, not having a forge. I mean, our +1 is almost done actually for herO, but not having any upgrades yet of the forge, that's so rough.
You can't rely on Adepts, especially if you're behind in supply like this. And later on, this army will keep on getting worse and worse. Like, by going for this army, herO, like I said, he's basically hoping that INnoVation will make mistakes, but so far INnoVation has stayed really patient. By the way, Apollo's brilliantest production move so far was to give goodie bag to players with an ESL cap in it, because now it paid off and INnoVation's rocking it.
They're all wearing it. Loving the audience
I
here.
wore mine yesterday.
Everybody seems to be having a good time. And Todd, we've had a lot of people watching StarCraft at this booth over the weekend, the Into Extreme Masters booth here in China Joy. But I feel whenever INnoVation plays, that's when the people start queuing up. I think Inno is very popular here. Everybody loves watching Inno. I think we're almost good, by the way, to continue this second quarterfinals of the day. Score is still 0-0. I think some of them are probably quite sad that we don't have Haas here. They want to see some more Oracle madness.
You could have made draws drop, Roddy.
Yep.
That's what he does. Lots of oracles, usually. INnoVation is just looking so great in that game, and he's covering all of his bases, by the way. He already started a second starport, which I think is not the biggest of investment. You know, if you think about it, the starport itself is not that expensive. But, I mean, if he has to face either air units or Colossi, it'd be great. And then if he's not facing Colossi, what is he facing? A Protoss that then would try and get to a Storm on lower econ, only 2 bases for the longest time. Like, I feel like INnoVation is in complete control here of that map number 1.
I just love that cheerful thought. Buff Protoss, please. We could have made it. We could have been sitting there right now. We have to say, my man. Well, that's my girl right there.
My girl.
Buff Protoss. Not sure what we're waiting for, but I still have the feeling that we can continue this game quite quickly. TY will 3-1 Inno tomorrow. He's getting a little bit ahead of the situation.
Mark my words.
herO is still alive. You know, obviously game number 1 is looking incredibly rough. What would happen, you think, if, let's say, INnoVation wins this series?
I think
Inno versus TY. I think that's so hard to predict, like incredibly tough.
Yeah. The TvT, like, it's always quite sick, you know, like, it feels like it's whoever's doing better on the day, even though, like, there is, like, guys that do better in the matchup. But even, we saw that with Bjorn, you know, it's not always the case. Like, TvT, he's his worst from what he says, but that didn't stop him from beating Maru, whom he thought was quite a bit better than him.
Those
Some newfound confidence, man.
Those games were awesome, though.
Yeah.
Like, that game 2 was unreal, and I think game 3 was incredibly high level as well.
Sometimes you say, like, you know, it's the group of death, it's going to be great, and then the games happen. It's like, what? Like, you know, what was that? But that wasn't the case here. Earlier, we saw some really fantastic games from that Group D.
All right, so we got a small update. It seemed to be a minor issue with the monitor of herO. Hopefully we can get it fixed real soon. So we're just gonna stay here. He's kind of gonna have to stay with us. All 4 quarterfinals will be played today. If you just tuned in, you have missed ISONU going up against TY in the first series of the day. It was a 3-0, but I'd say game 2 was worth watching. Thought game 2 was pretty good.
Yeah. ISONU, like I said, he showed some great things. Like it's easy, you know, from the analysis desk to kind of sit up there and be like, oh yeah, he made this mistake and left his Broodlords alone. Like we wouldn't last 3 minutes against ISONU. And he, like I say, yeah, he did show a lot of good things. I'm looking forward to his next few tournaments and seeing him trying to make a run at qualifying for the global finals. Because at the end of the day, that's what's most important. I think everybody has it on their minds. And
especially with the new increased prize pool, $200,000 already been added. The war chest already completed. I was actually stunned by that thought. Like, I did figure out we're going to make that over time, you know, but I kind of expected that to happen in October or something. With the war chest just being released so recently, awesome to see there's still so much support coming out of the StarCraft II community. I mean, we were at Home Story Cup last week as well, and what happened over there was obviously crazy.
What was that if not support?
Yeah, I mean, we just keep on going, Todd. It's almost been 7 years. IEM has been running for 7 years, but it's just fantastic to see still so many people getting incredibly excited over StarCraft II tournaments and finding whatever way they can to support these tournaments and these fantastic players, and they deserve it. What they show us from time to time is just unreal.
Sorry, I'm mesmerized by the ticker again. 42-39 head-to-head advantage.
That's very close.
Yeah, that is incredibly close.
Yeah, and that's a lot of games as well. Can you imagine having played like 81 times in a competitive environment? I mean, obviously in the Warcraft 3 days where you were very active, you often ran into the same people as well.
But that was like ladder, right?
Yeah, I mean, even in tournaments, I think you ran into the same one, especially like a European tournament. Eventually, you always.
I don't think I have like 80 maps against anybody.
You don't think you have like 80 maps over against like maybe Sky and Infi and Grubby?
I think we have like 30 or 40.
Okay.
Then again, we don't have any data. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
And you got, I think we had a lot less online tournaments at Merit, right? Like in Warcraft 3 days. These days, obviously, I mean, in Korea, I guess they mostly play offline, but every now and then, you know, they start participating in some of the online tournaments as well. Here is some supply to look at in the meanwhile. Why? Whose supply is it though? 133 out of 147. He's just making up supply right now, Todd.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was looking at the game, and that's not what the supply is like right now. And the soup does not lie, so you better not start making things up, Wax.
All right, we apologize for the delay, but I believe we are good to go with the first game of this second quarterfinals of the day. INnoVation versus herO is live on Defenders Landing. And if you forgot where we were, our Protoss is in a lot of trouble. Let's go ahead and jump back into the game. That would be awesome. As Phoenixes are flying around and INnoVation is marching across the map. That is not everything that he has. He's going to pick up 4 Medivac portal units. And Todd, there is no observer there. Oh my god, this army could be out of position. Yeah. INnoVation scans the main. herO, you're in a lot of trouble.
And INnoVation is already going to be set up here on the high ground. He's going to set up that Widowmine perfectly as well to get maximum surface area. If he detonates, oh my god. INnoVation just takes the map. That pose lasted like 5 minutes. And then we went into game for 20 seconds total. And INnoVation takes map number 1 quite convincingly here.
Well, Todd, at least for once in our lives, we were not wrong when we said herO was in a lot of trouble. Yeah. Even though not that much had died. Just to give you guys an idea, up to this point, the only thing that herO lost was 11 probes and 1 Phoenix.
That's it.
It's not like he lost a bunch of adepts and a mothership core. He lost 11 probes and a Phoenix. But when you play against INnoVation, who's obviously macroing like a machine, that is just too much. You can't afford to lose that much, especially not if you open up with a Stargate and think straight up Phoenixes. I think herO was counting on absolutely shutting that first drop down and not losing anything, but he took quite a bit of damage.
Yeah. INnoVation really making the most of that Widowmine drop, like setting up at the ramp the way he did was really cool. Eventually, and that first Reaper, man, it really feels like very rarely will you see a first Reaper get that much damage done. He got 2 probes, got out, like sure he died after, but he had already done his job. And herO, well, I guess losing the scouting probe like will happen a lot of the time if you choose to stay in, which herO did. But losing 3 probes right off the bat like this, I know when it happens to you on your stream, you're just ranting for the next 10 minutes, bro.
Well, that's why I was smiling while you said this, Todd, because I know you're right. And whenever I cast and watch pro tournaments, it always happens as well. You know, Reaper shows up and I'm like, man, the Protoss is going to struggle here, and they always handle it incredibly well. But Defenders Landing is obviously a small map, so the Reaper shows up incredibly quick. And it's good to see that I'm not the only Protoss in the world who ends up losing a bunch of probes. herO is apparently a human being as well. When INnoVation controls that Reaper, I know it sounds silly, right? Because it's really hard. It sometimes feels maybe to the viewers that we're like creating a fake hype where we say like, you know, this guy with a Reaper, it's insane. And then people at home are like, it's just a Reaper, bro. Like, how much can you truly do with a Reaper? But it's insane how annoying these world-class Terrans are with their Reaper. It's very hard to kill it early on. It keeps showing up. It will always go for the right target. It's so good in calculating range. It's hard to put it in words what makes them so good with a single unit, but already, as soon as they have one unit out, it sets them apart from the other Terrans out there.
It's like INnoVation jumped into that Reaper's body and was that Reaper for a second. But here we are, map number 2, Proxima Station, starting in the top side of the map. Before they strangled me because I do a late intro, it is INnoVation.
Must have been Kevin observing right now. Poka wouldn't mind. Poka would show us like the beautiful outskirts of Proxima. But Kevin starts spinning the camera. He's like, guys, introduce the players. Over here on the left bottom side, the man who's down 0-1, it's herO. Representing Root Gaming. Looks good in that Root jersey, doesn't he, Tom?
Yeah. I always thought, like, you know, these players that play for one team for a long time, it's really hard like to see them transition. And in this case, herO was associated with CJ for a very, very long time, but he's rocking that Root shirt. And definitely root for Root, mate.
He's pulling it off. So we have a command center first by INnoVation on the top side of the map. And I like to see this as well. This is one of the builds that I always feel is very strong and still kind of underrated for Terran. Some of the Terran players out there say like, nah, CZ first is not that good. Because one of the things that Protoss players sometimes do against this is that they rush out Speed Prism with a Disruptor. Because obviously if you go command center first, it means the factory is later. And if the factory is late, the starport is a lot later, Stim is going to be quite a bit later. And it just makes it hard to deal with a Speed Prism and a Disruptor. herO did not scout though, right? He didn't go into the main. He has no idea that he's going up against CC first.
Yeah.
Proxy,
He might be counting on it.
yeah, Proxy and Oracle is like, it's a little hit or miss, right? It really depends on where the Marines are positioned. But INnoVation is going to have a lot of Marines of this 3 barracks opening that he's going for.
And INnoVation scouting, no second pylon in the main base, that could be a big tell.
Yeah.
Like usually I think small Terrans like INnoVation, they'll see that. They see no second pylon in the main base, they're like, all right, there could be a pylon on the map, I'm going to check everywhere. In this case, it's decently well hidden, but I don't think it would take INnoVation a lot of time if he actually scouted with his SCV. But right now, it just looks like he's headed home.
So I personally think this is bad for herO. It really come down to Oracle control, needless to say, but the Marine production, 3 Marines at a time. I think what herO was hoping for here is maybe, you know, a reactor after a Reaper, so the Marine count is very low. The probe does get a good scout off, and now I just wonder, what do you do if you are herO? Do you open up with an Oracle? Do you even go 2 Oracles? Knowing how high this Marine count is going to be from INnoVation.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. INnoVation doesn't know what base is going to be hit, so a lot of the time he's going to have to split his Marines. If he's just 4 and 5 on each base when the first Oracle flies in, the Oracle can actually fight these Marines. From the moment there is like as many as 6, then it becomes really dicey, because then you might kill a few, but then you'll die pretty quickly, because you'll take a lot of damage from these Marines.
Would you look at that missile turret already going down? INnoVation so good. Sometimes Terran players don't let it finish just yet, in case they don't play against Proxy Oracle, but I think INnoVation will absolutely... And INnoVation just made his own life so much easier, right? Yeah. He has all the Marines in one middle line, missile turret, and the other one's like...
That's so smart.
Yeah, what you gonna do?
You're gonna fly that Oracle perfectly and still try to find a hole, I guess, and kill a couple SCVs.
Maybe one here on the outskirts, but INnoVation's reaction time is too good. Pulls those SCVs and may...
Sick defense.
Makes it look easy, Todd. And you said it as well, right? He didn't scout that second pylon. He doesn't second guess himself. He knows he needs a turret. And
he would have been fine against everything else too. Like turrets would work well against DTs. If it's a proxy robo, then what? He's making a ton of Marines. He's happy.
And he gets fast stim as well. So this double Oracle, these Oracles are going to try to find an opening, but the Marine count is quite high. That fast eBay really makes Inno's life so much easier. And obviously he needs to wait, he needs to stay patient until he has stim, and there's no need in trying to chase these Oracles and lose a couple of Marines, but INnoVation knows that this has been a pretty excellent early game for him.
I think herO is a quite good Phoenix-sided player, and even though he hasn't done a ton of damage there, I think he's all right, you know, like just going into a very quick third base, then going to a lot of Phoenixes and Adept. The thing about Phoenix Adept, though, is that it's been more figured out. Terrans have gotten way better against it as of late, and we've started to see a bit of a transition towards charge loss and armor upgrades instead of attacks. So we'll see if herO chooses to do that.
I think against this many Marines, it's very risky, right, to go for Zealot. So I think he's going to open up with a resonating glaives, and then we do have it on the production tab already. I do like the Zealot Phoenix style as well. I think it's cool. I think it's fun to watch. But against this opening, you know, the Marine count is going to be incredibly high. Adepts can do very good against Marines, especially if you have +1 attack and they don't have +1 army yet, which is probably going to be the case the first time these two fight. But I'm still a little worried, Todd. It's a proxy Stargate, it's 2 Oracles that have done maybe 5 SCV kills up to this point. That's me right there. That's why I wasn't recruited into the army, Todd.
Slacking on the job. Thinking about video games.
I'm saving ammo for when I'm truly in trouble.
Well, Marines got unlimited ammo though, don't they? They never stop shooting.
In my nightmares, I'm always running out of bullets. So we can see, you know, he's on the hunt. He wants to find one of these Oracles and actually gets a couple of shots off. herO probably having a small panic attack there. That's a lot of buy units. Tim is done. Where are you gonna go? Okay, he's gonna find his way out. Well done. 5 extra gateways are on the way. How high is the adept count? I feel like it's not very high yet.
Yeah, it's only 8. I guess Overcharge can buy some time, but against this many bio, it's going to be really tough. He needs to buy some time with Overcharge, have a perfect Guardian Shield, synergize his Adepts with the Overcharge is going to be key.
Yep, a couple of more Adepts coming out. Now, don't go out, herO. You just need to stay patient now.
That's really far back.
Yeah.
For a Stasis
I think
ward.
he's afraid of the YOLOs Tim in. There is that first Guardian Shield almost immediately. Mothership Core is here as well, so could potentially drop an Overcharge. Blink is going to be the follow-up after that. It's a lot of gateways. I feel as long as all these gates finish up and herO gets like 5, 6, 7 more Adepts, it's going to be all right. Needs to make sure, though, that if he shades in the Adepts, wow, you know, don't...
He saw it from afar.
Yeah.
Saw a little blur. One first Overcharge is going to be used there. And another Stasis wall that gets triggered here, INnoVation. That one Marine, that's a herO here.
I'm worried about these 2 Marauders. It's very important that these Adepts don't start shooting at the Marauders. So far, the force boots are decent. He only got Marines so far in range of these Adepts. That is well done. One Oracle does get gunned down immediately, though. And INnoVation with a beautiful concave.
Yeah, just right around the range of that Overcharge there. Perfect positioning here from INnoVation. And every time he goes in, he forces herO to engage to him and then pulls back right outside the range of the Overcharge. Beautiful setup here from INnoVation, looking fantastic.
Yeah, +1 is done now, though, for the Adepts. And I think this might be a moment to shade forward. A little bit friendly fire of this Phoenix. Yes, it does trigger that one of these mines. One medevac goes, takes a little bit of damage as well. I'm worried, though. It feels like these trades are a lot better for INnoVation. And the army composition of herO, it needs to snowball. He needs to get overwhelming numbers. The moment you get outnumbered, now there is a Liberator showing up as well. It's going to be harder and harder to clean this up.
A nice tag here by herO. Remember, herO gets reinforcements faster, though, because he's warping here on this side of the map. He's starting to get Blink Stalkers. He doesn't have that many Adepts. I don't think he should be going for this fight, but he might want to be aiming from some friendly fire.
It almost seems, I think you're right. I think he's going to wait for one more warp in and maybe wait for Blink to finish up 8 seconds, and then he can blink in 9 Adepts. I think this is the moment. You blink forward as well. You try to get those Liberators as quickly as possible. This is it for herO.
All right, let's
this
go.
Goes bad, then
Bomb
he could
spaghetti.
be down 0-2.
Yeah, he's going to go straight into that army here. Widow Mines are triggered pretty quickly. Adepts cleaning up the Liberators, and herO is going to chase down this army there. Nice cleanup. Waiting for the extra warp-in was key. And 9 gateways, perfect amount here as well. +2 attack is about to finish, and already having Blink is going to be huge as well.
Wow.
herO might just counter-attack. He's getting a Prism here.
Yeah, beautiful patience. 9 more Adepts being warped in. You're right, Todd. He's not showing any signs of willing to transition into a Colossus or a Disruptors or anything like that. He's going to go for it with all these mines here. Yes, he does. They absorb. Oh, that's some big mine hits, though. Stalkers are in a little bit of trouble as well. This Liberator gets quite a few shots off. I mean, INnoVation did lose a lot of SCVs, but if I'm herO right now, maybe it's better to go back. The Prism isn't here yet.
I think he's just going to regroup. The Prism is almost there right now. He's going to get a couple more Adepts right there. And herO, he's already killed quite a few SCVs, and I think he's looking to try and do some more damage as well. Those gateway units are very expendable, and he doesn't have a force phase on the way just yet. He's just going to try to end it anyway. Mothership even joins the fight here.
Kind of a risky blink there, forward blink, but he gets a couple of these Marauders immediately, and that's obviously the most important thing here, because Marauders are excellent against Stalkers. 20 SCVs have gone down. It's going to be hard to get up that ramp, I think, with the Liberator, but if he gets the Orbital, that is fantastic for herO.
And level 1 ground armor here on the way for herO. He's dancing. He's telling INnoVation, get out of my game. I'm going to tie up the score here in a second.
What? Who dances against INnoVation, Todd? He's a madman. Machines have feelings too. He's gonna blink into these Liberators. It seems like an awkward fight. I mean, obviously he's way richer and he's warping in 9 units at a time. But I think it's better to at least try to take care of one of these depots so the adepts can actually shade forward. And
The floodgates are open rather than adepts are gonna shade straight on top of this army here. War Prism is still there. He keeps on playing it forward almost as if he's stoning INnoVation, but herO ties up the score here with a very convincing defense. In-game tour gives us a thumbs up, and he's feeling it right now, the Smiling Assassin.
Yeah, I love that defense early on. I love the setup with the sentries. I love the Guardian shield timings. I love the force fields at first. I was very worried that if these adepts start shooting at one of those 2 Marauders in the army, they suddenly don't kill it fast enough, and then he loses a lot of adepts, and it could have been the beginning of the end. But herO, the Prince of Intox Remaster, showed some beautiful patience there, and he ties up the score. This machine, it's not bleeding yet, Todd, but it's sparking a little.
INnoVation not known for showing too much emotions here. If there was ever a time, a justified moment for him to throw a monitor out of the glass window from his booth, it'd be right now, I think, after Protoss just danced his units after beating him.
Oh, I think this is one of those moments where be careful what you just did, herO, because you just you poked the machine, and I feel like Inno is like a grizzly bear, you know, you just don't taunt it, just ignore it and like secretly take your map win and get ready for the next one and maybe try to get away with something else on Odyssey.
I think this kid is asking for mana mules, what he must be thinking.
And sunflower scans all over the map. What do you think he's playing there, right, Todd?
I don't know, but it makes me very intrigued.
You know, that guy.
Because it looks like he's doing one of those painting where like you throw, you know, paint at the canvas. But
I'm just focused on it. In the end, he's like this. It's like a workout, you know, with the ropes. Anyways, game number 3 is going to be played on Odyssey in this awesome quarterfinal so far. I'm liking it, Todd. I was starting to get a little bit worried when INnoVation was marching across the map. I was like, if herO messes up once here, he's in a heap of trouble. Fortunately for us and all the Protoss fans out there, he stabilized and he showed some beautiful patience.
we're on Odyssey from map number 3, starting in the bottom right-hand side of the map, playing as the Red Terran. It is the machine INnoVation. Going for a gas burst here.
Still looks very, very chill. Over here on the left top side, looking in the main base, the Protoss spawning in blue. Representing route, it's herO. What do you think of Odyssey, Todd, as a Protoss player yourself?
I think it's all right. Like, when a map looks this beautiful, I don't care how hard it can feel to expand at times. I'm always going to be happy about playing on it.
It's a very clean map, right?
With the tile set.
Yeah, it's a very clean map, which makes it feel like Protoss units just kind of glide over it, you know, they don't have to struggle. Like on Blood Bowl, you always feel they get stuck in the snow, but this map, they just kind of, they glide. It's like Stalker Micro is so on point here.
It might not mean family, but the tile set is definitely beautiful.
Mm-hmm. So we're gonna see where this probe decides to go.
herO actually scouted everywhere around his base here.
It's a one-base proxy, I think, Todd, with 2 gases up and running already, unless he just straight up takes the gold. Is he, what? Okay, he's gonna proxy, what? I'm actually kind of confused. What is he going to do? That is the second pylon. Maybe he's just going to take control of the Zelnaga Watchtower real quick. Wants to make sure there's nothing scouting him here. Now he's going to go back and drop a Stargate.
Maybe he's going to do the same opener as last game, hoping that INnoVation overreacts and gets a turret. But then play economically.
Last game he went 1 gate fast expand though.
Yeah, but then he could still get the Nexus. And now it's going to be a Stargate there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he already has the pylon there. You might as well get a Nexus, right?
I think that blocks the Nexus though. That pylon is too close.
No, look, like the circle, that's where the Nexus goes.
Okay, maybe you're right. I don't
Or
know.
maybe I'm not.
Maybe or maybe not. All right, the Reaper is going to make his way across the map. He's going to take the Nexus a little bit
it must have blocked it.
Yeah, I think it's too far north.
Oh, no.
I don't know if that was the plan. This is just odd. Obviously, we have no idea what we're watching right now. Maybe herO can explain us later on. Reaper is going to hop into the main base. It would be great for INnoVation to see more than what he saw so far, because this all looks standard. But obviously, he's in the natural right now, and he's like, wait, where's your Nexus, bro?
Yes.
You're supposed to have an expander. Cyclone is going to be the follow-up.
You know, the sickest thing is INnoVation is probably going to try to scout the gold base. Okay, he's actually going to go through that avenue here. Oh, he's not going to see that Nexus. Oh, no, he is. Okay. Imagine if he hadn't seen that and then he goes to the goal and doesn't see the Nexus.
Well, he is going to go to the gold now as well. He's going to find that pylon. He's probably like, what on earth are you doing? So it's a proxy Stargate. How high is the Marine count currently?
I think INnoVation right now probably realized that the pylon blocked the Nexus on the gold. Imagine if he looked at herO and gave him a thumbs up.
No, INnoVation shows no emotion. What he should have done is maybe dance the Reaper next to the Stargate a little bit. I mean, maybe you're right, Todd, but I really think it's one too far down. I don't think you can expand there.
I mean, I do think he would have taken the gold if he could have made it there. Then why? Otherwise, why would he take this other base and not the natural? Actually, he could have taken the natural instead.
So the Reaper actually uses Pulsar Beam there to take out the Reaper. Now, some people might think like, oh, that's a good pickoff. And obviously, it is a nice pickoff. Big problem is you just activated your energy and he loses quite a bit of energy. So if he wants to reactivate it, it takes another 25 energy. He only has 14, 15 energy left. Oh, well, we'll see.
A double Cyclone in position here for INnoVation. At which point, if he gets turrets eventually, he can just start attacking with this. Well, Oracle, I don't think he's very welcome here across the map.
That's actually going to be hard to deal with if those 8 Marines fly across the map. I'm not sure if INnoVation saw that. He just, excuse me, herO that is. He did drop the Revelation in the main base.
Yeah, no Mothership Core and the Phoenixes are still hanging out around the Stargates.
This could get very bad. If 8 Marines show up in your base and you have no idea that it's happening, the Phoenixes are out of position, all 8 Marines will be able to just get dropped. There's no pylon in the back of this mineral line either. He gets another one near the assimilator now. But this drop, Todd, can do quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, there's nothing in position here right now for herO. I think he might have just swapped in his second base as well. He didn't expect that Medivac drop here at all. And he's going to start losing a lot of probes there, which is going to be a disaster because herO was not that far ahead on the warp count. He's actually going to fall behind here.
He's still going to have some trouble cleaning this up, perhaps. I mean, the Oracle is going to help out quite a bit. One Phoenix takes a lot of damage. I did like the triple lift there, just letting the Oracle do the job. So in the end, he loses 9 probes, which obviously is too many.
Oh,
lose your Phoenix!
Oh my god.
Oh, that's bad.
It worked.
He's getting +1 air weapons, Todd.
Roddy build!
I mean, against Terran, I have to admit I don't do it very often. It does help a lot in gunning down those medevacs and helps a lot against Cyclones and stuff as well. Shame that herO lost 8 or 9 workers there, because I would have loved to see where he was going to go with this build. It's not 100% over yet, but it's safe to say that so far this is just not looking good.
Don't you think herO should kill the pylon that's blocking his Nexus on the gold, take it, and then go into a lot of gates and just flood with Adepts?
Yeah, but of which money right now? Maybe a little bit later, but I just don't think he can get away with it, especially not after losing all those probes. He does get a Viking there, that's kind of nice. These two I find this a very odd move, Todd, because the Phoenixes can easily lift up these Cyclones and then they're suddenly not very good. Just run, herO. Just run and wait for your Phoenixes to show up. That's obviously what he's going to do as well. The Phoenixes will come all the way home. Inno's just going to suicide them probably into the mineral line. He's going to try to get a couple of Adepts, but I would probably go for probes instead. Getting Adepts is nice, but I feel the probes are the guaranteed kills.
Yeah, I guess 1 probe and then 1 Adepts, but those Cyclones will get sniped here by the Phoenixes. So he forces that back. And INnoVation, no sign of a third base. He hasn't halted SCV production, like obviously, I mean, I guess INnoVation is the machine, but he's gonna be getting a lot of units, including tanks there. He's already got 2. So if he wanted to go for a big push down the line, that's gonna be a super strong one.
Yep. So I think this is interesting, right? Because we've seen a lot of Zealot stuff lately, and I think whenever you play Zealots against Marine tank, I don't think you should lift the tanks with your Phoenixes, because when Zealots charge in on Marines, the tanks actually do quite a bit of damage on those Marines as well, and it allows Zealots to finish them off a lot quicker. But obviously, if you play with Adepts, then you do want to lift the tanks, because Adepts are already very good against Marines in and by itself, especially if you can shade right on top of them.
There's the 3rd CC, right in front of that also, thanks to the Revelation. herO is going to spot this, and then from there he can decide. When does he go for a 3rd base? And I think
he's going to kill the pylon.
Yeah, the gold base.
He's going to kill the pylon.
You know, it's one single little cube box that blocks it, by the way. It's the very corner of the pylon.
It was just too far away from the mineral line, and that's why, because normally you don't have that much space if you build a pylon in your mineral line. So herO making a pretty big mistake early on, but he's still going to take the gold in the end. And actually, I mean, he's down quite a bit in army supply, but he's been investing a lot into gateways. He has +1 air weapons. If INnoVation makes a bad move out, I think herO can smash the army. The problem is, I don't think INnoVation makes bad moves out very often.
Yeah, he always waits for like the kind of critical mass. Even though last game the defense was insane by herO. Like so many other Protoss would have died from that big push from INnoVation and attack.
Would you say like all of them besides Test, Zest, Classic, Neep?
Classic would have died too.
No, what? You kidding me? Classic is the god. That Widowmine is going to do a lot of damage. Gets 3 workers immediately, and don't forget that the Oracle is quite a bit out of position. Phoenix is out of position as well. He has nothing. He still doesn't have a Mothership Core. This man is a madman, Todd. You got to pull your workers, because if he focus fires here, he can get a lot. He gets 7 with that Widowmine. Ouch, Todd.
Bad. I think he's going to make herO
What?
a little bit desperate at this point. He's going to attack.
No. You cannot attack that 2-base Inno. Have you seen that setup with the depots, with the tanks? What? Okay, he salvages the
I mean,
bench.
if you lose that many walkers, it kind of feels like you have to go for it.
With Phoenix Adept, can you, the Golden base is about to finish up. I just feel like this is not the moment to take a terrible fight.
But he has Widow Mines in his mineral lines. That's the problem.
Only one. He took care of the other one.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty big Widow Mine, mate.
I mean, he's just going to transfer his workers to the gold. I just think if you shade into a Terran with Marauders and tanks and maybe a bunker and you're down 27 supply, you need some miraculous Widow Mine friendly fire to somehow win that fight. And there are 7 mines on the map, so obviously it's very hard to call a battle when there are that many mines.
All right, here we go. You ready?
That's a lot of Marauders, Todd. It's a lot of mines as well.
Oh, he picks up a lot of the Widow Mines here. At the last second of herO, he's going to pick up the tank as well. There's just not enough left over on the ground, and INnoVation with a solid map number 3 win.
It was murder, not on the dance floor, but on Odyssey instead. It's that fight, I mean, with the mines, beautiful defensive positioning there by INnoVation, who shows absolutely no emotions. You know, we saw herO make a kind of awkward face, obviously not very happy, I think, with the fact that he blocked his gold earlier on, and he was forced to expand elsewhere. Yeah, just an odd game, right? There's no other way to describe this.
Yeah, INnoVation solid throughout. I really like when a team realizes that, you know, there's this many Phoenixes, and they're like, I can't be very aggressive with, like, you know, drops early on, because Protoss is waiting for that. So what does he do? Loads up 2 Widow Mines in a Medivac. It's not the biggest of commitment, and then tries and makes something happen with this. herO not ready defensively, no Mothership Core, no cannons in middle lines, no robo for observers, starts taking a ton of damage, gets desperate. And the crazy thing is, like, you know, you look at the game and you don't even necessarily think about that. The fact that INnoVation played so passive, other than for microaggressions, is just so smart against this style.
Yep.
Because like I said, if you're a Protoss there, you want to be attacked. You're getting the perfect army to defend big attacks from the opponent. INnoVation learned from the previous game. He's like, I'm just going to sit back, get a critical mass, do damage to you here and there. He probably did way more damage, to be fair, than what he had expected, but yeah. I guess it doesn't matter. He's happy to take it.
I totally agree. That first drop did damage. After that, he's like, all right, I'm going to sit back. Beautiful game, beautiful series so far by INnoVation. herO is struggling. We're going to head over to a very small break, and after that, we'll be back with Game 4 of the second quarterfinals here live from Shanghai at the Intox 3 Masters 2017.
All right, so far we have INnoVation leading with a 2-1 over herO. What's going wrong, guys?
Nothing. It's exactly as I predicted. So far, so good.
Okay. Is it too early to call INnoVation a cheeser for only beating herO in games in which he kills probes right off the bat?
That's just aggression, man. That was just a drop. I mean, when you go for Stargate builds like that, you're rarely going to have a Mothership Core in time for that kind of thing. I mean, as we saw, herO didn't make one at all. So it went a little bit rough for him defensively. Widowmine's getting way too much damage done. That forced all in against the 2-base Terran with a lot of tanks.
Yeah.
Feels bad, man.
I feel like the first Reaper in that first game has kind of told the story of this series. It's just units in herO's base a little bit earlier than he's ready for them, and he's kind of panicking and trying to react on the fly, and things not quite working out as well for him. I was thinking, you know, it's time to dig deep into your bag of tricks, herO, pull out something cool, goes for Proxy Stargate into a gold base expansion and blocks his own Nexus. And really unfortunate way to lose that game, number 3.
Yeah.
I feel like that just threw him off. He was kind of out of position for the drop that came in, and a little bit unfortunate. And I think herO, you know, now he's only got 1 life left. He's got to win 2 games in a row. I think he needs to bring out more of these cheeky builds. He just needs to put his pylons in the proper positions.
I agree with you on that, and this is a good tell of what's going to happen to herO if he does not tighten up his early game defense. But it is ready now, guys. Back to our casters for game number 4.
Thank you guys so much. We are ready as well to hop into Abyssal Reef for perhaps the deciding game in this series, but it's going to be deciding one way or the other. Either it ends or we're going to see game 5. Just a few errors too many so far in this quarterfinals from this man. Can he get it together? It is herO. And on the left top side, we're looking at the main base of the machine. Showed zero emotion so far. It's INnoVation. You caught me off guard there, Todd. I wasn't ready.
Zero innovation as well, to be fair. He played fairly standard. Let's be honest here.
I don't want to be rude.
It's one of the most ironic nicknames ever. It's kind of like happy.
You know, I don't totally agree with what Maynard said, that you absolutely need the Mothership Core early on. It's just more important that herO keeps track of these units, right, of INnoVation. And 8 Marines flying across the map, him having Phoenix, him having an Oracle, and then not being in a position to deal with it, that's obviously unforgivable. If those 8 Marines show up like they did on Odyssey, that's just where you get punished. We have seen Protoss players like Neep, I think, does it quite often as well in the past, delay that Mothership Core by quite a bit, which is not necessarily bad, but you just need to be on top of every movement of your opponent.
And this is looking like another proxy Stargate on this map. With the rush distance and the way the ramp is set up, a lot of the time you're going to see pylon rushes as well as the Stargates. You know, Mothership Core is going to fly in, get those pylons down the ramp.
What if he goes for the Robo, Todd?
That could be sick as well.
The double Robo.
He doesn't have money for I don't think it'd be a double Robo, but that's a sick build, actually. I kind of want to try that since I saw the Story Cup. The one time somebody used it, it fails. Oh, it didn't win. Right.
No, it's just going to be a Stargate for now. It is obviously an incredibly close Stargate. We're going to see a pylon rush as well.
Yeah, second
Zealot
probe.
is marching across the map. herO's getting down and dirty again here in game number 4.
And INnoVation has no idea, by the way. No scout whatsoever. His first scout is going to be that one Reaper. Kind of moving around. He's going to see the second probe. Okay, no, that's the Zealot actually down there that he's going to spot, but that's a huge tail, and the pylons are not going to start. It's going to be 2. And this, I think, might do a lot of damage there, because the reactor is not going to help for the longest time.
And that probe is just annoying now as well. It takes away attention of the Zealot, so the Zealot can just go to town, can prevent any SV from going up. Mothership Core is still quite far away, but he should be able to get a kill on that reactor eventually, and probably the supply depots as well. Now, obviously, what herO really wants is prevent this command center from finishing up. This is perhaps the most important thing in the early game here, as that grenade keeps the Zealot away as well. Good micro so far by INnoVation. Adept is going to show up. I don't think the CC is going to finish up. The Zealot still lives, eventually does fall.
Oh, Mothership Core! Oh, and he gets the Reaper, so finally gets that. And now that reactor will be under siege. The supply depot as well will be attacked. INnoVation not quite cancelling the command center just yet. He's so close to completion. It's like the worst feeling.
That reactor is going to fall very, very quickly. So it's only 1 Marine at a time. Now the Oracle shows up. Cyclone locks on it immediately. It's incredibly important for INnoVation to pull SCVs if the Cyclone starts running low on HP. I would maybe cancel the command center, but maybe he feels like he needs it to buy time. Cyclone will start working. There is an overcharge available, but herO doesn't want to use it too early. Decides to drop it now instead. He's going to get that depot too.
That Cyclone getting repaired here. He needs to pull that back. Depot will die. And that's going to be INnoVation being supply blocked here. And he wasn't able to start an additional Cyclone before that. So he already has two. Sure, it's nice. But from there, we see a third Oracle starting. And in the meantime, herO's expanding across the map and still working on that command center.
That was a little bit awkward though. He just activated both pulsar beams and didn't do that much damage. But now he's going to swing back into this mineral line and he still gets 7 SCVs. One Oracle should probably fall here. But I think one of them, oh my god, he gets both of them out. And this CC is starting to run lower and lower on HP. I don't think there's an extra unit showing up though. It's 2 Adepts and a Mothership Core. Can herO get the cancel that he's looking for? Is that Oracle number 3?
Yeah.
Oh my god, he's going full Haas. Where are those jaws dropping?
Maybe somewhere in there in the audience. I'm sure production's looking for them. 4th Oracle on the way. He can actually recall here. The herO, he might... Is he gonna shade out?
No, he wants to kill. He wants to really kill it. The Oracle's gonna show up as well. And he's gonna force the cancel. herO gets himself incredibly far ahead right now in game number 4. What an opening, Todd.
Yeah, a great job here by herO catching INnoVation off guard. That kind of skipped on the SCV scouting early on. Didn't see this coming. And I like it, you know, like INnoVation in previous game, it felt like he kind of cracked the style of herO, of going for a Phoenix Adept, found a way to do damage. And even though, you know, it was a very specific game where the pylon blocked the goal base, INnoVation now gonna unpower that Stargate, but the Oracles fly in here. Here's another has moment. They're gonna try to get rid of these Cyclones and they're gonna be able to do it.
Yeah, Viking does show up as well, the 2 Vikings out even. 1 Oracle falls. I think it would have been very, very nice for herO if he would have at least been able to get a single SCV out. Oracle scout and see that this command center is still not started. So herO knows right now, get a couple of defensive pylons up. I think getting a cheeky Guardian shield at home would be incredibly useful too against those Marines.
And INnoVation right now, he must be considering his options. He's like, well, is it a 1-1-1 or is it a 1-1-1? He doesn't have the economy to do much. He's getting an eBay. Actually, nothing was left in the middle line of INnoVation. He took a huge gamble there. No Oracle's gonna fly in, so it's in that regard, he's kind of gonna be lucky. But on the other side of the map, herO has already a lot of units. He's got his Oracles ready to fight as well.
And don't forget, he has 2 overcharges available. herO, you really don't have to fight here. He's actually going to go down to the bottom. I mean, maybe it's going to work after all with all these Oracles, and he reduces the DPS of this army of INnoVation by a lot already. herO showing how confident he is. He could have camped, losing a Mothership Core with 100 energy. That stings a little bit. herO, don't throw this game. You've done everything right so far. All you have to do is just survive for, let's say, another minute. You're up 10 workers. Stalker's gonna go forward, kills the Liberator, and herO sends it to game 5.
Wow, what a comeback here after a very tough previous game. Stays composed, a very aggressive build. And INnoVation, if you wanted to skip on that scout, he's gonna have to be a little bit more careful there because he definitely got caught a little bit off guard there. And when you have 1 Reaper, and where there's 2 probes, a Zealot, an Adept, an Oracle, and a Mothership Core attacking you, it's going to be pretty hard to survive. A little bit stubborn with that command center, I have to say, even though like it kind of feels like he was close to maybe having an SCV there and finishing it.
I mean, there is a chance that he maybe just expected 2 Oracles and then herO to macro up, right? But I love the fact that herO went for Oracle number 3 and then Oracle number 4 as well, because Oracle number 3 pulled the units out of position and eventually he could bring back the first 2 Oracles, just get that finishing touch on that command center, forcing INnoVation to cancel. He did a great job early on with the second probe, buying time for the Zealot making it hard for the SCV to get the additional hit points on that CC. I loved it. Was it dirty? Yes. Was it disgusting, perhaps, if you're not a Protoss? Absolutely, but perhaps this is just the way that you have to fight a machine, Todd.
Yeah, playing a straight-up game against this guy can be really difficult, and like I said, INnoVation even making some great adjustments, I thought, in the previous game. You know what I hope the most every single time when we have a 5th game like this? That we see a longer game, an epic game of all proportions.
Some double Forge, double Robo, Colossus against Ghost, Vikings, Liberator range. Yeah.
I want to see those maxed out armies.
It's a good map for it though, Todd. Ascension to Ire is going to be the map which will decide if it's going to be this man advancing to the semifinals or his opponent. Of course, right now we're looking at the main base of the Protoss. It's herO.
The Protoss hero we need. His opponent in the reds. Playing as Terran, it's INnoVation.
Very happy to see Ascension to Ire as our final map, because I think that Blood Bowl could have potentially been ugly, even though Phoenixes are pretty good on that map, but I feel it would have probably just ended up with some weird stuff. Ascension to Ire is a very long map, so a lot of those 2-base pushes of Terran, I'm not going to say that they're bad, but it's just not that common to see it, because it takes quite a while until you run across the map. Protoss often has an easier time buying time for that extra warp in, and perhaps that's how INnoVation feels about it as well. So he's going to go for that CC first one more time, but I think that herO is just going to go for a very standard 1 gate fast expand here, so that's not that bad. Maybe we see Speed Prism Todd here. I wouldn't mind seeing a Speed Prism Disruptor opening.
Yeah, herO is one of those guys as well that just has so many openers, even though he's like very focused on getting Phoenix Adept a lot of the time. He can play very well with a quick robo. He was one of those guys that also quite mastered the Blink Stalker play, you know, back in the days when certain maps would allow Protoss to win every single game with 7 gates Blink Stalker.
Heavy Rain.
He was, that was not the only one. There were a lot of Yonsu and all that. Even playing Charge Lot High Templar, he's one of those guys that can do it really well in the current meta. It's not something that does nearly as well, especially against top Terrans like INnoVation.
You know what I think is interesting is that INnoVation, whenever he goes CC first, he follows it up with 3 Rexes. Which obviously is not that weird, but every now and then you see Terran players try to do it with 2 Rex as well. Just get that factory out a tiny bit quicker.
Yeah.
But I think he's quite worried about all the weird stuff that this Protoss has been doing so far. Not only in this series, but throughout this entire tournament and over the last few weeks in Korea as well. So he's like, as long as I get a bunch of Marines, I'm not going to die early on. And I'm INnoVation. I believe that if I don't die early on, I can pretty much win this series. I can win this game if I get up to 3-4 bases. If we get above 150 supply, I believe that I am better than this guy. And obviously 3 Rex is going to allow him to at least push it to the mid game. But he did lose on Proxima, but I think it's safe to say he just over-invested in his push and also was perhaps surprised by the amazing defense that herO showed on Proxima.
You see what happened already, by the way, scouting-wise. herO not scouting at all this time around, so taking a bit of a gamble, hoping that INnoVation wouldn't proxy, which he has shown no sign of doing anything at all like that so far this series. Whereas INnoVation, he went for that scout with the SCV. I feel like herO, he's earned that scout. He's earned the respect of INnoVation with the previous game and the build that he went for. So INnoVation obviously is going to be happy to see that you know, he's not getting cheesed or anything, and he's going to get away with his command center first quite easily early on. But this might lead into the big game I was talking about, those maxed out armies, or like those big armies clashing eventually.
Unfortunately for us, it's not a robotics facility immediately. It's just going to be a Stargate for now. Now Stargate's obviously, that's a very fast robo follow-up this time though. So that gives us the idea that maybe herO doesn't want to get too crazy. Maybe it's just an Oracle opening, follow up with a couple Phoenix, maybe double Oracle and then Phoenix.
Yeah.
But the quick robo also gives us the idea that maybe he does want to get a robo bay eventually. Maybe we will see a Forge, and maybe we will see some 4-base Protoss play.
That's a pretty quick gas number 3 and 4 here, by the way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the time, Protosses, they will skip on those gases for a long time, start the third Nexus, then add gateways and make sure that they keep up with their tech. So
gives us a robo bay feeling, right?
Yeah. Like maybe something like straight into Colossus behind this could be an idea. herO, you know, I mentioned like the styles and stuff that he's good with, which is pretty much everything. One thing that used to be really big, at which he was good to, was just straight Colossus with Blink Stalkers and double Forge.
I like this, by the way. 3 Adepts show up in the natural. They get an SCV kill, and then they find a couple of Marines as well. Don't forget about that Oracle that's making his way across the map. Double Forge for herO, all right, and a Robo Bay. So here we go, Colossus, macro-oriented openings. You know, I almost wish that he wouldn't have revealed those Adepts, because if he shades those 3 Adepts in and then shows up with the Oracle, he gets 5 Marine kills immediately, and maybe a few SCVs as well. This time, INnoVation is a little more prepared. But look at his Oracle, still finding a little bit of damage. Make sure you don't lose it.
Yeah, that was close. Almost lost that here a second ago. Double upgrade is now going to start. And I'm pretty sure we're going to see Colossus production begin. What is this? Wings of Liberty, Creator, double Forge style?
I just love this, man. I hear Artosis in my headset right now. The cheesiest thing a cheesy player can do is play a macro game, and that's what herO is showing us here in Game 5. I wonder how long he's going to stay on those 2 bases. You know, obviously, as long as INnoVation doesn't have a third CC, you could say herO doesn't necessarily need to rush up to a third CC. Just enjoy your double Forge, enjoy maybe your Colossus soon, and maybe try to do some economic damage on the other side of the map. You know, this time he's actually still up in workers. Remember Defender's Landing? He was down 6-7 workers this phase in the game, which was obviously a disaster. And the game ended very shortly after that.
Just the threat of having a War Prism across the map like this is so dangerous. If INnoVation moves out, doesn't have anything at home, he's going to start losing walkers super fast. 1-1 is about halfway done, which is usually when the Twilight Council starts, so you can keep up with that 2-2 upgrades.
I wonder what do
quickly.
you think is going to be his first upgrade out of the Twilight once he throws it down? Do you think Charge? Do you think Blink?
It's very hard to have the gas for Blink and then going to Stalkers, right, off 2 bases. And the 3rd base is not rushed enough for him to be able to afford all that.
That's
so I'm
sick.
not sure, like if he wants to keep going Colossus heavy, maybe he can get charged in the first place and then later on at Stalkers.
Did you saw how he just did that? He forced a lot of lost mine. No, don't lose the Oracle. Oh my god, he's so close. herO is just dancing on the line of death over and over again. But I love how
Dancing
he,
with the devil.
Yep, but I love how he did it as well. He shaded towards the Prism, and then when the bio shows up, he picked it up immediately on the other side of the main. herO is playing very good so far, very clean, I think, in game number 5.
He's playing a perfect game
Yeah,
so
he
far.
has-
He hasn't lost a unit.
That is pretty damn clean, isn't it? From the dirtiest Protoss out there, he went to a very clean one. It's like Rain has just possessed his body. Oracle's gonna fly over a couple of Marines. He could activate Pulsar Beam there. You get 2 Marines, why not? Instead, he's gonna go for the Revelation.
Yeah.
Attacks that army. But this army of herO on the other side of the map, it's pretty solid, Todd. As long as he doesn't like misposition his Colossus, because there are 5 Marauders in the army, so the Colossus have to stay in the back. But Thermal Lens is about to finish up. I love everything about this game so far for herO.
And herO is really respecting INnoVation there, by the way. He's making sure he gets a ton of units. He doesn't start 2-2 super early. Like, you want to make sure you have enough units, right, to hold on against the opponent's attacks. Like, you can start these upgrades all you want, but if it ends up making you not have enough units to stay alive in the game, is all going to be in vain. So there it is, the +2 attack. Blink already being on the way is going to allow him to go straight into a lot of Stalkers. And when you already have that Colossus production where he's on 2 and with the 3rd one to come out, there is that 2-2 timing that's going to be insanely strong from herO that he can go for.
With a Prism and like 9 gateways or something, as we know he loves
Yeah.
to do. A couple of sentries as well, a few force fields, Guardian Shield. I think you might be onto something, Todd. INnoVation takes this base, by the way, which is going to be a little easier for herO to push into, as it's just straight across the map. Doesn't have to take a weird angle up a ramp on the north side. As +1 armor finishes up as well for Inno. Very big moment. I just love the way that herO's playing this game, though, Todd. It's so different than the first 4 games.
I love it too, and I'm really starting to feel like we might have Protoss well on his way to the round of 4 potentially if he executes this well. No 4th Colossi, which kind of surprises me. And an exposed mineral line here from INnoVation. The one weakness in his defense for just a second gets caught a little bit, loses 5 SCVs and then kills the Oracle. But as soon as that 2-2 finishes, yeah, look, there's more gates on the way. herO is just going to go for a huge timing.
I really like the Marauder as well, the Immortals in the mix as well, because if you make only Colossus and then you have a couple of Stalkers, and high Marauder count can be very, very problematic. But a couple of Immortals in the mix is actually going to help you gun down those bad boys quite quickly.
Yeah.
INnoVation is going to move across the map because he's probably expecting a 4th base, and he's like, well, eventually I need to do something against this Protoss. Now we do see Charge as well, though, Todd, so that surprised me a tiny bit. But these Adepts are going to be able to do a little bit of damage. herO is playing great so far. INnoVation is probably wondering, like, what happened to this cheesy Protoss I was playing against? Look at that Oracle. Flies. He laughs in the face of danger, Todd. Those Liberators came from behind, but they didn't stop him.
Yeah, not much is going to stop that Oracle if herO plays safe enough with it and keeps on revealing the army every single time. Kind of out of energy here for a bit. But yeah, 2-2. He's going to be completing here just now, and Charge already being on the way. This army of herO is so much stronger than of INnoVation's, but INnoVation's going to try to use the mobility of his army. He's going to set up the Liberators on the high ground here. And those pylons, they didn't activate overcharge here very early, but now there it is. Blink forward from herO. He's going to get rid of a lot of those Liberators, but then he cannot get rid of the Medivacs.
Well, the Medivacs do get out. INnoVation is going to try to strike the 3rd, but look at that, perhaps stasis. He's going to activate that immediately with Marines, but still well defended there by herO. Those overcharges were late, but they really did help out a lot. And now the Liberator count is a lot lower. This Nexus is going to take quite a bit of damage, but I think with the Colossus and the Immortals and all these Stalkers, I think herO can defend here, Todd.
Yeah, even force field a couple of those Marauders here, trapping them. The Liberators are going to fall. Those are very hard units to replenish. And herO is going to be going for the counter-attack. His War Prism still alive. Charge just finished. A huge upgrade lead, having 2-2 against just the 1-1 of INnoVation. How is INnoVation supposed to hold on here up against this?
I think you have to evacuate low ground, right? I really think he has to give it up, buy more time for more Liberators, because I don't think, I mean, you can maybe try to defend here, or maybe just try to reposition them over and over again, but that is a lot of Stalkers. 3 Immortals, 3 Colossus, Guardian Shield. herO is looking forward to go to the semi-finals. He's gonna blink forward, gun down a couple of these Liberators, and Todd, look at these Colossus shredding through all these SCVs.
Look at the supplies plummeting very rapidly here for INnoVation.
Tasteless appears out of nowhere as well, as herO advances to the semi-finals. Wow, what a game 5 by him, Todd. In no universe, if you watch the first 4 games, you expect him to pull off a game 5 like that, but he did it.
Fantastic series here, and herO, so impressive, changing style all the time, cheesing a little bit, playing some straight up Phoenix Adept. And in that last game, he did the cheesiest thing an aggressive player can do, play the most macro style possible, play the perfect game for the longest time, and gets rewarded for it with a spot in the top 4.
The hope of Protoss and the Prince of IEM is still alive. We're gonna head to a very small break, and after that we'll be back with an interview with the man himself, herO.
This is your post-game interview with the second advancer to the semi-finalists. It is herO. 자, 김준호 선수 4강 진출하셨어요. 일단 인터넷에 보면은 김준호 선수 일단 큐트 앤 섹시, 귀엽고 섹시하다. 그리고 살인 미소가 참 이쁘다라는 얘기가 정말 많았는데 김준호 선수 경기하다 보니까 웃지도 않고 귀엽지도 않고 이제 늙은 모습이 좀 보였거든요. So all over the internet, everybody's been talking about how herO's, cuteness and sexiness, and how his smiles are just killer smiles. But throughout the series, couldn't really see much after the game 1.
네, 제가 게임하면서 잔실수가 너무 많았어요. 그래서 좀 폭삭 늙은 것 같고, 게임하면서 근데 실수를 하면서도 손이 너무 잘 움직여가지고 질 것 같지 않았고, 근데 질 것 같지 않아가지고 이제 진짜 실수만 하지 말고 집중만 하자 이런 생각으로 좀 표정이 이렇게 이제 좀 딱딱해진 것 같고, 네, 그렇게 집중해가지고 잘 이겼던 것 같아요.
I know I made a lot of mistakes throughout this entire series, but I think it's because my hands were moving way too fast. Even at the mistakes that I was making, I felt good. Like I wasn't tensed up or anything, and I think that helped me, concentrate. It helped me gain the focus and the confidence to beat INnoVation in that series. 자, 김준호 선수, 일단 두 번째 게임에 거의 이기고 나서 첫 시리즈는 지고 나서 말도 안 되게 졌거든요. 두 번째 게임 이기고 나서 4강 가타 표정과 세레머니 춤까지 추셨었는데 무슨 정신으로 그걸 하셨는지 너무 궁금합니다. So in the second game, first game, I don't think it was even a fight for herO. But second game when he won, right before he won, he did a little in-game ceremony by dancing, and he had his fist up after the game. It almost made him look foolish as he let go of the third game.
네, 일단 게임 시작하기도 전에 너무 흥에 취해 있어서 너무 즐겁게 게임을 하고 있었어요. 그때 당시에는. 그래가지고 그런 것도 있고 이게 다전제잖아요. 그러니까 상대 멘탈을 건드리는 것도 중요하단 말이에요. 근데 신영이가 어제 자꾸 제 멘탈을 건드리더라고요. 그래가지고 저는 말보단 게임으로 멘탈을 깨려고 그렇게 하게 됐고 뭐 결과론적으로 제 멘탈이 나간 것 같지만 네 이겼으니까 뭐 됐죠. 네? 처음에요? 네 너무 게임 시작할 때 너무 즐겁게
I couldn't hear. So at the start of the entire series, I don't know what it was, but I was just way too pumped up. I was just too hyped. And yesterday, actually, over the dinner, all INnoVation was doing was basically to get into my head and throw me off my game. All night last night, I kept my mouth quiet, and I was ready to show him in-game because obviously actions speak louder than the word, and that's exactly what I did after the game too. 자, 그럼 마지막으로 프로토스의 마지막 희망으로서 그리고 IEM 왕자의 귀환으로서 그리고 김유진 선수도 없거든요. Lastly, as the last hope of Protoss and also return of IEM Prince and no SOS.
지금 손 놀리려면은 유진이가 와도 끄떡없다고 생각합니다. 일단 적은 없다 생각하고 4강 결승 방심하지 않고 하면은 화려하게 컴백할 수 있다고 생각합니다. IEM에.
Right now I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. My fingers are moving as well as it ever has. And even if SOS is in this series and I go up against him, I'm ready to take him on. And if I just don't go over my head in the next round, the semifinals, I think finals and winning this IEM Shanghai is in the bags. Thank you very much, herO, for your interview. Back to you, casters.
Thanks much, Mal. That was a great game. That was a great series. What do you guys think?
Well, actions speak louder than words. Oracles shoot louder than Marines. That's what we found out there. Beautiful play from herO. Honestly, I just love the way he brought it back in that last game. He was like, hey, I'm going to play a macro game. And he's like, Oracle kept finding SCVs, kept finding those little edges. And he went Colossi, which I definitely didn't expect. I'm sure you didn't either, maybe.
No, I expected a cheesy game 5. I didn't expect for him to just turtle on Colossus, get the double forge up. Like, we saw that double forge, and I was just like, this is a 2-2 timing. This is I wouldn't classify this as a macro game, but as it turned out, that was exactly what it was. Yeah. He was just holding on strong. INnoVation was trying to do his regular to INnoVation things, and he was getting beaten back. So, herO showed us in those 5 games. Cheesy play, proxy play, messing up a lot of F2 usage.
Yes.
I think that was pretty obvious there in a few of those games. But he could do it all. He did it all, and he's now in the semifinals. Can't take it away from him.
Oh, you certainly cannot. And with that, of course, we are guaranteed a perfectly balanced semifinals. As we seem to get all the time in StarCraft II. Like, seriously, we already have a Terran, now we have a Protoss. We will have a Zerg from the next match, and then, of course, Sue or Byun in that last spot. So pretty awesome to see him going forward. And, of course, all the Protoss fans around the world going to be happy with that as well.
I'm sure you're very happy as well, Dan, because you've once again defied the curse. And we're starting to think that maybe your move away from casting up here to hosting on the desk, maybe this is a good move for you.
Just to make it clear, every time that we have recorded all the caster votes, I have won or gotten second place every single time. So the curse is not real. herO takes it down 3-2, as I said. And going forward into our next match, it's going to be a ZVZ Rogue versus Dark. But that one's pretty hard to predict, isn't it?
I mean, a lot of ZVZs, when the players are close, are extremely hard to predict. Dark's mastery of ZVZ has been pretty obvious lately. Sue, same deal. Like, I was very confident with my prediction in this one. Ended up being wrong, all things fair. But I don't even want to pretend to predict this one. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's going to be an exciting match. Rogue's form looked a lot better on day 1. Dark's had a couple days to rest, to recover, to get himself back in a different mindset. I mean, it could go either way. If they show the same form as day 1, Rogue's looking to be the favorite in this form, but anything could happen. Zerg versus Zerg is a crazy battle.
It definitely can be. Lots of roaches in that matchup, no doubt. We're going to go to a quick commercial break, and when we come back, our ZVZ.